No shots like it was covered in salt.
Hang on, Johnny.
All the way from this pool, all the way right around the room.
Good evening, everyone. Before I hand over to the chair of tonight's meeting, I remind everyone here in the room we are now live streaming. We politely request that all participants wait until being invited to speak by the chair. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand. Once invited to speak, please preface your contribution by stating your name. This will help the mics lock in on the primary speaker and thereby maximise the sound quality for those watching at home. If you're watching at home and wish to participate in tonight's meeting, please turn your video on. If you're just observing, please turn your video off. Unless actively speaking, all those watching the meeting via Teams should have their mics muted. Members of the public are reminded that public participation is for questions only. Comments, suggestions or representations may be made at the discretion of the chair of the meeting. In case of a fire evacuation, the fire point is the marketplace. For this evening, there will be no fire drills. I'll now hand you over to tonight's chair, Councillor Jay Westbrook.
Good evening, everyone. So it feels a little bit when I say that like I'm at assembly. I quite like it. Lovely. So firstly, to accept any apologies.
Councillor Druitt, subbed by Councillor Crossler.
Fabulous. Any declarations of interest? No? Wonderful. Minutes of the last meeting? Anyone got any questions on it? Do I have a proposer?
Yeah, I'll propose.
So take Safi, take Pat as your seconder. All those in favour? You can vote even if you want. I have a pen.
You can go on, yeah.
Thank you very much. Is the date? Fabulous. Right, initial. We'll do it anyway. There you go. Lovely. So item number 4, public participation. We obviously have lots of people in the room, which is nice. Paul, you've been sat here quite a long time, so if you don't mind, I'm going to go to Paul first, just because he was here for the 6th.
I'm just waiting. That's all. Yeah, Paul Carter. My question is just regarding the CCTV in town. There's been, through my occupation as a taxi driver and stuff online, there's been lots of speculation, particularly following the tragic incident that happened in Lowbourne, about whether the CCTV is working, is it effective, are there issues with it? So just as a concerned member of the public that's paying for a very expensive piece of equipment, I just wanted to find out what the situation is. Was it working? Is it working? Is it a case of nothing to see here, everything's fine, or there are issues, they're being looked at?
Yeah, so I've checked what we can and can't say. Obviously, it is still an active investigation.
Yeah, I don't need to know, it's not specifically about,
Yeah.
but just the system generally.
What I've been told I am allowed to say is there is currently an internal investigation taking place to make sure how robust the CCTV is. As you've said, it is being paid for by members of the public by our precepts. And it also is there obviously for public safety. So we want to ensure that it is doing the job that everyone is paying for it to do. There is an internal investigation going. They have gone out to a third party expert to ensure that it is as robust as it should be, and that we aren't, missing a trick anywhere, that it is covering everywhere it should be covering. Should we be investing more money into it? Actually, are there certain areas where we need more coverage, less coverage? So we have got that going through an internal investigation at the moment. The full report for that will come to the next full council meeting. So hopefully by January, even not July, that's a long time before a full council meeting, but hopefully before January the 12th, we will know the ins and outs and exactly what's happening with that CCTV, because there's been the member of staff whose role it was to do that has now subsequently left. So actually it's allowed us to sort of maybe see what are the best things for us to be doing internally. Does that, I know it doesn't fully answer your question, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, so obviously, I'm guessing something must have prompted the investigation, but if I just look for the agendas coming up, it'll be active item on the agenda.
It certainly should be.
I can then come along if I want to actually hear.
Yeah.
What the issues are.
And what I'll ask the clerk to do, Paul, is message you and let you know that it definitely is on the agenda. If for some reason it's not, maybe the report's taking longer, or sadly we have come to that rather busy part of time where people go on holiday and things like that. I know, selfish, isn't it? It's the person who's going away tomorrow. I will make sure that Hayley informs you so you can come to the appropriate meeting.
Thank
And if you have any questions, do feel free to obviously email them in that you'd like specifically answered. Thank you very much.
you. There you go.
No? Yeah. No, that's
I'm
fine.
sure your question is fascinating. So,
I've been here long enough. Is everyone speaking or have you got a representative?
I think I'm a representative.
Go for it, Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan Leach. I'm the vice chair for the branch of British Legion for Melksham. So obviously my questions in particularly pertain to Remembrance Sunday 2026. Now I've obviously viewed your agenda online, and the issues obviously questions pertain to sort of three areas. So firstly, obviously, is councillors' possibility to parade but not take an emphasis away from the veterans. So what does this pertain to? Are you looking to march? If so, then obviously the issue we would raise is the fact that it's a bit far-fetched for councillors to march on parade with veterans and stuff like that. Any other sort of ceremonial duties as a dignitary would be obviously pertain to the cenotaph, very much like with the royal family and obviously the actual Prime Minister himself. None of them parade, they just attend the ceremony as dignitaries. The second item to be raised is obviously the introduction of wreaths for all the town council wards. So obviously this year has probably been the longest out of all the previous sort of 8 years I've been in Melksham as the bugler itself and with the veterans community, where it's been the longest wreath laying ceremony itself. That's not to obviously dismiss the people laying the wreaths, but is there a way that we can reduce that time? We've got a lot of cadets on parade that are passing out. A lot of veterans felt the struggle this year with actually standing still for that long. So obviously the introduction to more wreaths is a concern for the British Legion. Obviously, it's a point to note that there is no wreath laying apart from the Avon Memorial on the 11th. Maybe this is something we could look at to reduce some of the numbers on Sunday and have some wreaths laid on the 11th. And the third item here was obviously to discuss any further changes, obviously the town council looks to make with regards to Remembrance Sunday. Obviously, what are your plans working forward to work with the British Legion? Because obviously this is the first time the British Legion has actually attended one of these meetings. So obviously we will look forward to working more with you. But obviously decisions you guys make need to be reflected with us being an RBL-led parade. So obviously there are instances where we as a British Legion need to obviously vote things through before they happen. Are you happy to work with us on that?
Thank you so much for coming. I was a bit surprised myself at the one with the marching with the veterans. I think that's very much the veterans march, not ours. It shouldn't be about us. It's about you and what you have done.
How it reads on your agenda, the parade.
No, I completely agree. And when I read it, it struck me as a bit strange. Obviously, we sort of have to walk down there, and we do try and walk in a more formalised way than maybe just sort of appearing and ambling down there, because it feels also wrong to do that. I am very happy, if you are, for me to ask our lovely communities officer to make contact, obviously, with the British Royal Legion.
Yeah.
This is your event. It's not our event. Yeah. All we do is facilitate what you want. Yeah. I appreciate we do the bit in the town hall where we kind of do the cake and coffee, but ultimately what happens out there is yours, and we will follow what you want, because that's what it's about. It's not about us, it's about the veterans and saying thank you to our veterans. I really take on board what you say about the wreath laying. I also found it very long this year. Obviously there are dignitaries that lay wreaths every year, and obviously they are from the military and from our statutory organisations who've always laid wreaths. I like the idea of laying them actually on the 11th. I think that does give it's a really nice sort of compromise of saying during the actual parade it will only be kind of the official dignitaries and obviously the military representatives, but then on the 11th kind of the communities can come along. I understand that might cause some concerns, obviously, with some of the community groups might have jobs and often obviously can't always guarantee what day the 11th is.
Yeah.
But actually, the reality is this is your event, it's not ours. So we will work with you in any way you would like us to work with you. We really welcome you coming to these meetings, and we are very happy to strengthen the bond between the two and make sure that you guys get the Remembrance Day that you deserve. So very happy with that. So thank you for coming along. Are you happy with that, considering I've just given you a job?
Yes. No, indeed. And we had the same problem in Westbury, and eventually we had to stop announcing everybody. Just did the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something I think to work with the RBL to say, how do you want us to lay the reads? Because it is your day. So are you happy with that? Did I not answer anything? My apologies. Or did I answer everything?
Yeah,
Just wanted to check.
like I said, no, just obviously there's a lot of replaying. I can struggle with that.
Some words just trip you up, don't they? Not you personally, just one.
There's a lot of replaying, obviously, this year, obviously, and the fact that the added pressure of having more local. Traditionally, it's always been the mayor laying on behalf of the town council on the Sunday. So I just think it would be a nice idea if we can spread some of the briefs over. Obviously, there, like you said, there could be issues and backlash from groups where they can't get there on the thing, but that's obviously something we've got to look at long term. Obviously, we're a long way from November yet, but obviously, if there's an option where we could, because at the moment, this year, the only wreath that was laid on actual Armistice Day was the one wreath that was down in the Avon Memorial. And I have to thank our Mayor Safi for that and organising that with himself. Obviously, that's brilliant, but if we can obviously incorporate that with Remembrance Sunday as well, that would be a nice touch as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you very much. We really do take on board all of that. As I said, it's your event, so we will do whatever it is that is best for our veterans and for our veterans' families and our serving.
I'll find us. No pressure.
That is something that I know that you are really looking at doing. I know, Jonathan, you're really passionate about getting that. And I'll be honest, I left ours and went over to Royal and Bassett's Remembrance Day, and they have a band. And I was like, yeah, he's got something there. He's got a point. Sorry? Selfish. They can give us one, surely.
That's what I'm trying to find out. I'm going over.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming down. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for coming down in what is not particularly nice weather. Anything else that anyone wanted to raise at all? No?
No.
Wonderful. Anybody online got something they'd like to say? I'll take that as a no. Thank you very much, everybody. You are, of course, welcome to stay, but you also don't have to if you don't want to. And that's Kate. Lovely. So moving on to Wiltshire Digital Drive. And now I've got to find it because I've just been moving my papers around and I'm confused. So Wiltshire Digital Drive are obviously the group that we've just given a rather substantial grant to. They are wanting to make the town hall a drop-off point for the tech, essentially, that they then give out further. For some reason, I've lost the exact bit of paper that needed to turn the page over. My only questions that I've got around this is, if the town hall staff are happy with it, I don't really think it's necessarily for us to say yes or no to it. There's no pecuniary concerns. Obviously, there would potentially be safety on where things are kept. But other than that, does anyone have any other points they'd like to raise? Please.
We need to just clarify data with people donating the stuff. Obviously, we are not accepting any responsibility for any data or anything like that.
That's a really, really good point. Yeah.
It's maybe yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to look into the issues of us being a council building and it being dropped off here.
I'd be interested to see how the other towns are handling that, because I suppose to some extent that they are the owners, or they are the ownership of the people who drop it off up until the moment it is given to somebody else. That's a very valid point. Could we look into it? Safi?
Time period in terms of says here about collecting, obviously it's our responsibility to store them securely until they're picked up. How often are they going to be picking them
Yeah,
up?
that's my concern as well.
Because obviously I hope we get an absolute load of stuff donated and it becomes a headache in terms of storage, because that would be a really, really good problem to have. But what we don't want is to be 2 months in and stuff still sat around.
My other question is, whose responsibility is it to promote this? Is it for us to promote, or is it for them?
I presume it's for them.
I assume it's for them as well. Gillian.
I think we need to consider security as well, because some of these devices can be a little bit on the odd side. Batteries might overheat, could cause a fire. Could have anything else in those devices.
It does say that the organisation reports no significant issues with lithium batteries and provides guidance on safe storage.
Do they give safe storage?
We need to know more of
I would agree. Pat?
Why would a battery overheat? Because it's not, I mean, it's just a thing being handed in, it's not being used, is it?
Anything's possible.
No, but there is I get your point. Sometimes if something's broken, it's broken. And
Well, if it's not being used, it's not on, is it?
No, but
no, but lithium can.
Yeah.
it can.
they can go wrong just sat still.
All right.
It's like with electric bike batteries, you're not supposed to keep those inside, even if
No.
they're off, because they might. Just as an extension of Reese's point, I'm assuming that the incredibly outside chances that happens, there's due process about if stuff is on the devices that is.
I think that's Reese's point.
Okay, yeah, just checking.
Yeah. Things that you
I don't want to be there.
I think that's Reese.
I would have.
Isn't that what you were getting at?
Likewise, just
Data.
yeah, it's just we will not be responsible in any way, shape, or form. We are literally a hub.
What I'd like to see is what their SLA looks like and what's in their SLA and what do they take responsibility for. I mean, ultimately, they are not responsible for what's on those computers either. Do they check them?
What happens if stuff is found? Is there
Is it that it-
reporting it on?
Yeah. My logic would say is they're probably pretty hot on it and tight on it, given A, what they do, and B, the other towns that are involved in it, particularly Chippenham, who I know are fastidious in this. Hang on, I'll come to you in 2 seconds. Reece.
If we look at the places like sex, as in computer exchange, not the companies that take that sort of stuff, the first thing they do is plug it in and check that it is wiped. As soon as they take anything, that's the first thing they do. They scan it to make sure there's no data on it. Now, obviously, we won't have the ability to do that.
No, I presume that's where it would be that we would have to sign a declaration that we are absolved from
Yeah.
anything to do with uses on them, and that is.
I think that's the bigger concern for me. I mean, the reality of something lighting on fire is very low. I think, you are almost talking almost zero when it's unplugged, because it does have to have a heat source. Fire can't just come out of nothing. Heat has to be being produced for a fire to be produced. So in terms of safety, in terms of their safety, and I mean anything obviously that comes in with a frayed thing, you wouldn't plug it in. Is that what you were going to say?
Quick search says a lithium battery cannot overload if turned off and disconnected from a power source.
I know it is a very limited charge, but obviously what you can get is things do spark off each other if they're Wi-Fi'd. So you can be, it's incredibly unlikely. I mean, I think it's probably less than a 1% chance, but you have to be safe. That for me is the bigger concern. I want to know how they deal with that and how quickly do they pick them up? Do we know that?
I don't think we do. Fortunately, they were here.
Because if it was like a locked drop box type thing, where we just have a box down the reception, they come in and they put it in, but you can't go throwing laptops through a letterbox.
No.
So it's in some ways.
Has there been any internal discussion around where they would be stored?
Yes, that one of the shed stores out the back was considered most likely placed.
CCTV.
Yeah, that would be the most logical
So
place.
that's a place where they couldn't be accessed. Certainly.
Most secure location.
Can we adapt that?
Then you need to.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation, is that we actually speak with Warminster, Chippenham, Tidworth, Cricklade and Devizes.
Live feed.
Pardon?
Can we redact that from the live feed?
Can we redact what from the live feed? Where they're going to be stored? No, we can't.
Yes.
I think you're overestimating who's watching on.
The were any suggestions anyway, Councillor, they weren't.
They're locked room. It's a locked room which is legitimately full of CCTV.
Yeah, they could be,
It's the shed outside.
could be a cunning distraction.
That was one of the suggestions I suggested, CCTV. Because it's inside.
To be fair,
and it's secure,
I don't
and
think
only
we've
two
got-
people can access it.
Yeah. So moving to the vote on this one, there was a vote, isn't it, on it?
Yes.
With reservations.
Can I make
Can I suggest you can, sorry, off you,
Yeah.
Sam.
Well, no, you give your suggestions. It
I
might be a
was
thing.
saying, obviously you've got two options. One is to defer it until we look at, contact other councillors. Or, since you said it's, doesn't necessarily need your approval if the staff officers are okay, you could approve it with the conditions that we get these questions answered.
Yeah, that would be mine, is to say that we slightly change it to say it, that yes, in principle, we approve it, but with the caveat that we have to have those questions answered around.
But can we approve it for delegation to the officers?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they aren't confirmed, we know we rescind the improvement. That's not a word. Approval. So I'll take it to the vote. All those in favour of that approach?
To know what eventually, I'd like to be informed about what actually is decided and where we stand with that at some point.
We can ask that to come back to the next ComDev meeting. However, what I would say is if we do approve everything, if everything comes through as being, yes, this is fine, start the project. Don't wait for ComDev. Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
So have I got a seconder? All those in favour? Right, that's partially now.
Seconded.
Gillian seconded. Thank you very much, everyone. So the next one is Melksham Community Support. Honestly, I'm finding these, I feel like I've just thrown these. Sorry, nothing is in, there we go. So has everyone had a chance to read this? So it is a Melksham Community Support Service delivered in partnership with Age UK Wiltshire, continues to provide a vital support for older and vulnerable residents. The service has received positive feedback and recognition for its impact on community wellbeing. So for those of you who aren't aware on this, this is to continue the funding of the caseworker who runs the community outreach for Age UK. I should say we do this in partnership with Melksham Without, and Melksham Without have approved to move forward with it. Exactly.
I was going to move to propose we accept this, having spent a lot of time, and obviously my background even coming here was from the original Melksham Community Support. This is an award-winning service. I was lucky enough to be at the award ceremony in Devizes, and just hearing some of the stories about the support that is given by this group is phenomenal. So I would like to move it.
Absolutely. I do just want to note that when we look at budget provisions on this for the next coming years, there is a provisional 3% increase in inflation. I mean, that shouldn't stop us doing it, but I just wanted everyone to be aware of it. Sappy?
Is that 12, 730 divided between the two councils, or is that?
No, that's each. And they do it as a service level agreement. We will be doing it as a service level agreement as well. And that includes them feeding back to us at least twice a year, which is what they do with Melksham Without, and it works really, really well. Sarah, who was here earlier, actually committing a grant, feeds back quite regularly as well. She does it to area board. Do I have a seconder? Gillian? All those in favour? Thank you very much, everybody. So, Remembrance Sunday. This is to make suggestions and discussions. Has anyone got anything they want to say? Because otherwise I've got a proposal that I'd like to put forward.
I think going from Jonathan's comments at the start, it's the RBL's event. We will support them and work with them. I recognise their comments and their suggestions. Let's work with them and support them.
Yeah.
They are the lead.
I couldn't agree more with you, Saf.
The big thing for me is, I would really love to see the Avon Memorial come in actually under Remembrance Day. I just think it deserved more than, and thank you to Jonathan for actually getting some people to come down there for me. Thank you for Clean Bugle as well. It was massively appreciated. But I just think that memorial deserved more than we had actually.
I'm actually just going to suspend standing orders for a second because I want to talk to.
So I would like to see
who
come
in the
on
room.
the actual Remembrance Sunday.
I'm going to suspend standing orders. Have I got a seconder? All those in favour? Thank you. Obviously the Avon War Memorial is a huge part of the town. Would you be able to take back to the RBL about how we bring that more into either the service on Remembrance Sunday or on the 11th?
Already do the veterans itself, in fact, the RBL actually already run a service of remembrance in the morning at around 9 AM, where we go down as the veterans group and lay a wreath on, it's about 9:30 by the time we all get down there. We'll lay a wreath, play the last post, have a minute silence, and then reveille, and then we'll go back up to the pub and have a few drinks, and then obviously
Solemnly reflect on the meaning of the day, yeah?
we do hold an event. There is the framework for an event to be held at say 9:30 on the Sunday already there. So which is already run between the veterans community. Obviously, if something we as the RBL can put forward as an official event, and then obviously, like you said, if you guys with the town council wards where it's Melksham, Avon, and it's part of the history of Melksham, then that might be an idea of where you lay your town council wreaths. It's just an idea going forward.
That's a nice idea. Okay, so in which case, are we happy to put forward that we ask our communities officer to liaise with the RBL to ensure that we put forward the event that is right for them? And oh yeah, sorry.
But I do want to make a suggestion.
Yeah.
As far as the town councillors are concerned, I'd like to see a little bit more order and organisation for which of the town councillors turns up when we walk to the church. It's just what I've been used to experiencing when we had a previous what's his name?
Crier.
Town crier, yeah. And it just got very ragged and disorganised, and I'd like to see that a little bit more organised.
I think as well we need to possibly make it more well known earlier who's going to the church service and who's not. There are very legitimate reasons why people could go to the church service. You know, I physically can't sit in the pews for too long, whatever.
Yeah, but I'd like to
handle it. I'm not aware that Emma's in a similar situation.
Walking as a group of town councillors.
Yes, and I think if we we should walk up probably nicely, but I'd like it to be done with the RBL's sort of consent on how we do it, because what I don't ever want to do is to parade up and that's theirs, not ours.
Yes.
I mean, we can walk up in a nice orderly fashion.
Just walk along the pavement and down a convenient point so that we weren't in the way and we were all sat down before anything started.
I mean, I would actually say we probably need to be at the top to receive the parade. If you had, you know.
Yeah, we were all sat down before anybody else came into the church, apart from the public, of course, who were.
But when we got to the parade, because we were at the back of it, it makes it quite messy because obviously Sappy had to be running round to get to the other side. Whereas actually, if we're there already in the right positions, so that actually we're where we need to be to make sure that the veterans are where they need to be.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're not getting in the way.
But whatever, I'd like to see it better organised.
Okay. Yeah, I'll suspend standing orders. That's fine. Sorry. So I know it's the nonsense of councils.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I don't know if this is a suggestion, but obviously with regards to obviously next year's parade, then maybe obviously if it helps you guys out, then maybe something we could organise nearer the time is a discussion where we actually go out, obviously myself or with Trevor or whoever from the British Legion, while we walk the route with you guys, and then we can discuss how we get you from point A to point B in the best fashion as part of the parade, not marking the parade, but as being part. Because obviously you've got to bear in mind you're acting as dignitaries of the parade, so then obviously we've got to respect that side of the coin, as the saying goes. So obviously you guys are going to want your guys to come and show you respect. So we've got to obviously put plans in place to get you to where you need to be, so that, like you said, you don't end up all as an organised gaggle or chaos running around in circles. So if we can help you guys support you, then obviously that's something we can look at nearer the time. I know this year you believe you walked down with Trevor at one point and discussed a few things, but obviously if we can get where we've got the parade marshal there and that lot, so we can put you in a position straight away, and that makes it easier for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I was there along with Ian for the meeting with Trevor. We had a war memorial, and definitely we could have discussed a lot more that evening and actually fleshed out a lot how Sunday went, particularly around those pieces of getting people where they should be, getting standing where they should be, how that happens. Also, and I will say, because this was, I'm sure Ian will back me up on this one, but the information in terms of who Trevor's organised today reefs didn't come to us. So then we had, or some of it did, shall I say. There was some, but not all the information that was required. So definitely lessons we learned from.
As vice chair, I'm going to try and give you as much information that you can work with, and I want as much feedback from you guys as well, so we can make this the best parade in Wiltshire, in my opinion.
I think so, yeah. We need to give you the information of who's coming and who needs to lay.
Yeah.
And then what you need to tell us when you want us in these places.
Nice.
And that's,
I'll do a nice big PowerPoint diagram. Exactly where and when and what.
You put crosses on the ground.
Okay.
If you can get me the bit of tape, I'll put the crosses on there.
Got to do it.
Yes, fabulous. Right, I'm gonna reinstate standing orders and then we'll take this to a vote. Lovely, thank you very much. So we haven't actually voted on this, have we?
No.
Just checking.
No.
My mind's going a bit mad. So just to confirm then that the Andrew, you able to read out what we're voting on?
I was going to ask you actually.
Okay,
What
so we
is the comms officer to liaise with Royal British Legion?
Yeah, that's
the community officer
Community officer, sorry.
to liaise with the Royal British Legion to ensure smooth running of the 2026
future.
and future, but specifically the 2026 Remembrance Day, and that we delegate authority to our community officer to have those conversations and then just to feed back to us.
With respect, technically, you have to delegate authority to the town clerk and then she gets somebody else to do it.
We delegate authority to the town clerk.
Who then delegates authority to.
I think I already had a proposer and a seconder.
Yeah.
I think Safi proposed. Gillian seconded. And all those in favour? Fabulous. Thank you very much. Wonderful. And we will make it the best parade in Wiltshire. So
Sorry.
we've got the best Christmas.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Lovely.
Still.
Thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. It's nice to see you as well, Lisa. I haven't seen you in a while. Fabulous. So the K6 boxes. On here it does say for decision of uses and locations. Upon discussion, because we don't actually know when they're coming back and we don't know much about it, we thought that might be a little premature. So, I mean, the note is just that they have been taken away, they're being updated. I thought about maybe asking our community officer to essentially pull some ideas together. So at the next ComDev, we can maybe come up with a few ideas, and then I actually think we put it out to the public. I think it's really important the public have a say in this. We do know they'll be in the marketplace. There are a couple of ideas floating around. That's funny because I really want a fish tank. And
got enough water issues.
and but I think it's really important actually that the community get the final say on what happens in those, but with some structure, because I think if we just throw it out there,
IT hardware delivery.
we need a bit more of a structure around it. Cycling laptops in there. Lovely. So is everyone happy with that as a proposal? Fabulous. I'll propose it. I'm seconder, Emma. All those in favour? Thank you very much. So then these are just items to note. So the community engagement and events that we have recently been running. So the flood warden workshop, that's harder to say than it needs to be. So members of the events and amenities team attended the flood warden workshop on the 16th of September. Was it helpful? Has it given us a full flood plan?
We're supposed to be doing that with Melksham without.
It was to be a warden. And the flood.
I mean, I don't think we were planning the flood.
Do you get know that?
I thought that. Operation. Oh.
Well, perhaps
Good.
Perhaps we should say,
Was
did Aldi go to?
Yes.
And who?
Aldi.
Aldi.
Oh, right,
They need to go to.
Yeah, they certainly need to be involved. I used to be something to do with the flood working group, but I can't remember now what it was, but I still get invitations to the Wiltshire Flood Working Group meeting, which is, you can attend in person somewhere or online.
At County Hall.
That's
Where you could attend it.
anyway,
By the CEO.
so I mean,
Aware,
I still turn up.
You are still the rep.
as far as I'm aware.
Oh, right, okay, well, I am still the rep then, yeah.
Please continue to turn up then.
Yeah, all right.
Joking apart, obviously we did have a once in a generation that seems to be happening once in a year flood event last year. Are we prepared for should it happen again? Do we know?
Oh, yeah.
How can you be prepared? I mean, the thing is, we know where
Sandbags.
flood.
No, to be honest, that's the thing.
We have bought.
Have we got door guards or sandbags?
I guess
And
all the people that have.
You replaced
we
it.
know where they are.
Yeah, the people that get flooded have already got sandbags in their backyards. I mean, all down.
They don't, Pat.
Well, I was going to say that.
Trust me, after last year, I can tell you they don't.
Well, there was a lot more last year that was because that in the town, that was the last was in the 60s, wasn't it? But all the people down at the bottom of Lowbourne have got them and they just get them out and put them.
They don't. We provided it to them last year.
Well, they have, and that's the point.
Well, how did you get it there? By boat?
Sorry. We genuinely waded through the water to give it to them.
Yeah, I know we have, so we have invested heavily after last year to make
Yeah.
sure we have the provisions in place.
And our
So,
Absolutely. And it's a part of it as well is, so I know Bradford on Avon do it particularly well, where they have community wardens who basically, when the flood starts, now obviously Bradford on Avon floods 18 times a year, they are the police.
Yeah, I'm going to say Bradford on Avon are wonderful. I remember because I was coming back from Bath and my brother insisted on going through Bradford on Avon to get back to Trowbridge, and I said, you won't get there. And of course, we were turned back on several of the routes that he knew. I just sat in the back of the car and probably. But yeah, I was going to say this comes up a lot at the meeting because the flood wardens are always out very quick because they obviously are local people and they know exactly where it's going to flood. But they get very frustrated because people don't take any notice of them and just carry on driving through the water, and then sometimes have to be pulled out. But they've got no actual legal authority, and that is the most frustrating thing. And of course, the police are too thinly spread, where it is really serious.
What I would say is that the cars don't have any insurance if they drive through flood.
Well, yeah,
With road closed sign.
it's still flood warden.
I think for me, I'm bearing in mind we're coming into flood season. I just want to make sure that we are putting information out there about what to do if places get flooded.
And warnings, like, check your car insurance. You might find that you're not going to get anywhere with it. Or
Yeah, just general information on.
Yeah.
And I know Wiltshire Council have a lot.
Oh, they'll listen if it's going to hit their.
I'm going to move on now. So I've got this. Why can't I speak today? The Hello Yellow, part of the World Mental Health Day. So Melksham Town County Council, even County, it's not a word.
are you okay?
No, I don't think I am. I'm going to perimenopause. Supported the Hello Yellow initiative by registering with Young Minds to raise awareness for young mental health. Anyone got any comments on it? Just glad we're doing it.
Man to your left, a beautiful yellow suit.
Yes,
I don't suppose.
Oh, yes.
magnificent.
The yellow suit.
I was in a yellow suit.
That's the man in the white suit. Very strange play I saw.
It's
So number 3, Melksham Health and Wellbeing meeting. So this is obviously something that's set up by area board. Has everyone read it? Anyone got any comments? No.
They're doing another daytime disco, aren't they?
They're doing a what, sorry?
They're doing another daytime disco. I saw the advert for that the other day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really well attended last time and they want more, essentially. So area board have 7,500 remaining for older and vulnerable people and 7,000 for food resilience. I know they are working on some big projects around particularly food resilience that the area board officers are leading on. If anybody is interested at all, please contact Richard Rogers, who leads on these things for Melksham Area Board. If you need to know his email address, ask me, I'll give it to you. So the judging of the 3 windows competitions. So the remembrance windows, I mean, you can see it in there. The only thing is obviously this came out before we did the Christmas one.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the one that won is astonishing.
Fabulous.
Did everyone see it?
Yeah.
It's
So good.
incredible. So it's the cobbler's bench,
Oh, yeah.
the
Plumbing.
tile store, and then the plumbing shop, isn't it?
No,
No.
Cobbler's Bench, the plumbing shop, and then 2 little ducks.
Yes, that's it. And they've done,
Yeah.
well, they've done Polar Express that goes through all their shops. It is incredible.
Ought to be
So
a
cool.
attraction.
It should be a tourist attraction. It's amazing. So yeah, congratulations to everybody who's done a wonderful Christmas display this year. But that one they really did up their game. I dread to think what they're going to have to come up with next year. So Age UK. No, sorry, I've missed one. The meeting of Age UK, which Q2 report on Melksham Community Services. Has everyone read this? 6 sort of feeds into it as well. This is obviously the daytime disco. It was incredibly well attended. I know people have really loved it. They do have another one scheduled on the 9th of January. I know that Age UK are flying with it. It's doing really, really well. And then the joint neighbourhood plan training. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend, but I know that everybody who did attend found it absolutely brilliant. And I know that we obviously did vote to have more training sessions with Place Studios. I can't think of the word. That's what it is, isn't it? Place Studios. The UK Parliament Week. I know a number of us took part in UK Parliament Week. I have to say, and I want it on record to say, Amelie was incredible.
Fabulous.
I want to really make sure it's put on record to say a massive thank you to her. I think hi Amelie. Thank you for all the hard work you put into it. It was incredibly well run. It was wonderfully, and she said cheers. It was wonderfully organised. The children had a fantastic time. It was well put together. And I think for me, the biggest testament to it is a child who came along from a Lerwick school, who I know from outside of here, was asked a few days after he came, what did you learn? And he said, I learned about democracy. I know what the word democracy means. He says, I know that Parliament's in London now, and I know what they do in councils. And that to me is the reason why we do this. And I cannot thank Amelie enough. I think she did brilliantly.
I think we've got some potential future councillors with what we saw. They really switched on.
I know we've got some switched on kids. And I would actually just say I wish we could do more with our schools. They're just doing brilliantly.
Is that again next year?
Well, it's a parliamentary thing that happens every year. I have fed back into Parliament. The one thing they don't say on their lovely video is where Parliament is. They just sort of assume everyone knows it's in London.
Yeah,
and we thought,
Say which parliament?
sorry,
You could say which parliament.
Yeah, true.
UK Parliament. They are clear that they say UK Parliament very specifically because I guess there are 2 others, although there actually aren't. Assemblies. So the Senate. It is a yearly run thing, UK Parliament Week, and I think we should invest more in it, get more kids involved in it next year. Run like a whole thing. It'd be great. Letters to Heaven. This is a really fabulous project. I just don't know when and I couldn't find where it was written that we were actually, because I see the box downstairs.
No, that's what it says in your report. It says here, box requires a little more love and attention before installation, but it's hoped it can be in use before Christmas.
I missed that.
I read it.
Right at the end of it.
Last bit.
Very last bit.
I'll be honest, I missed the bit on the other side of the page.
It's the bit I wrote.
I'm so sorry, it was fabulously well written. The mayoral update, so she's in the room. Do you want to give them?
Yeah, it's been busy. I mean, obviously we did the BAM challenge, which produced quite a hilarious video of Jenny throwing dirt on her own foot. That was fun. So yes, the tree is fabulous. It's great because actually we then challenged Carmen and Guernsey. Guernsey has subsequently planted their tree and they've challenged Jersey and the Isle of Man. So it's really great that they've taken it on and spread it back up the country. So that's really cool. obviously, Remembrance Sunday, then also then on Armistice Day, and then Armistice Day also later for the Avon Memorial. And then visits wise, it's October and November, we're pretty busy. December is crazy.
I do note that there is quite a lot of gin tasting.
We only had one gin taste. Where?
Sure.
But I did, that was very interesting. So
I've heard a lot about it.
I know. Ellen Care Home do golden hour every day at 6.
So it's just Sappy going along at 6 o'clock.
I've asked if I can. So they've commissioned the distillery to make them their own gin. So they now have their own gin. Wow, which is fabulous, and it's very nice. So yeah, I have been to the Black Life and just go and visit them every day at 6 o'clock.
Next we'll be breaking in on the Bath Saki events to happen regularly.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's been, I've been some fantastic things. The Devisers Day Club, and we'll just quickly talk on that, which is now, they're actually now called Beyond Dementia. Devisers Day Club to visit, that was fabulous just to see how much work they're putting in, and they do directly support Melksham residents and devisers as well. So the idea is people with dementia or Alzheimer's can go along for the day, they get to listen to music, play games, get fed, it just gives their families an opportunity to have a day to be able to do things. Apparently, one of the gentlemen there keeps asking when the tall lady with the high heels is coming back to see them. So I have promised that I will go back and see them in the
Got to wear high heels now.
Yeah.
Saf, I think this really shows what a commitment you've made to being mayor. And I think, you know, it's really amazing to see how much you're going out to and doing. And I think the time and energy you're giving to the community is incredible. So thank you very much for everything you're doing. I've said that because I can't come to a mayor's reception. So Proms in the Park, for those of us who went, it was a fabulous evening, but how many of us could still not feel our fingers from it?
Yeah.
It was so cold. And I really like that in here there is quite a strong feeling towards moving it inside, which personally I think is the right thing to do. But what I wouldn't want to do is to lose the kind of spirit of it and make it still kind of picnicky and people bringing camp chairs along and having it be still very much a picnic kind of element to it. Yeah.
Always get some artificial grass.
That would put the cost up quite
And
substantially.
also it goes against our ecological.
It's bad news.
Yeah.
Not if we use the same bit patch of grass every year. Like my Christmas tree, which must be filthy.
Yeah.
You could use the assembly rooms.
I think that's possibly the way we're going to get. The Assembly Hall also has a really big, great screen already.
Put, I don't know, tables in there for people to have their picnic or.
Yeah, and also possibly still maybe see if we can get some trucks to come along and sell things.
Yeah.
Because ask a farmer that we know to bring some hay bales.
Yeah, hay bales would work.
That's why I said it. But I think I'm quite fair. One thing I do want to point out on this is what an exceptional job was done in the budget.
Yeah.
To be given a £10,000 budget and to have a returning balance of £7,908 is quite astonishing. And I think what it goes to show is how resourceful our officers are becoming and how amazing they're being at making sure we're getting a really great return on investment. So I just want to say thank you for ensuring that we're getting that return on investment, because that is really quite an astonishing amount back.
That's something we could do earlier when it's warmer and still do it in the park.
So
We'll do it again.
if you had been available and not been, swanning yourself in wherever you are, Grenada, one of my key strategic priorities is to buy a screen. I'm desperate for one. I am obsessed.
With a screen.
A screen. I think a screen for our park or for our town would just be incredible. I know it's quite a large expense, but the things we could do with it.
Concerts and all sorts of stuff.
I think looking at the possibility.
I couldn't figure out what this word was. I got Wimbledon.
Sorry.
So yeah, I want a big screen so that we can show things like Wimbledon, like having movie nights in the
We've
park.
had the deck chairs conversation as well.
We have, yeah. Also making sure that and it can be moved around when we have events in the park, like the Food and River Festival, it can be moved to kind of show what's going on the stage and make that much more kind of inclusive as a festival. It also can be moved to different locations. We also can rent it out, so it becomes a rentable asset. They are not cheap, but we do have quite a lot of money left in solar money. I think that it's a really valuable use for it. I appreciate that is a full council decision, not a Jenny decision. But it's something I'm really passionate about doing because I think it just gives the town another thing that we are doing for our residents. You know, imagine being able to watch the Rugby World Cup in the park, the women's final, and watch the women winning in our park. It would just have been amazing.
I suppose, oh yeah, I'm just thinking, would we be allowed to show it? But yeah.
You can show anything that's on the BBC, you're allowed to show because it's consumer owned, it's public owned, sorry.
Yeah.
So if it's sporting events and things like that as well, they come under a very specific license. And Wimbledon is one of them. It's those ones that are specifically have to be shown on terrestrial TV. That's why certain things can't go onto Sky. They can't go behind paywalls. But yeah, I really want to thank everyone. That expenditure back is really quite top notch. So the business partnership. This is something that I know Safi and Hayley have been working on. I've come into it a little bit, I'll be honest. But it's also something that a couple of people have raised to us in the community that they're really keen on a business partnership. Safi, I don't know if you want to talk on it at all.
Yeah, it's just about we haven't had anything engagement like this with businesses for many years. We don't have a Chamber of Commerce.
It disappeared.
They don't really exist in that form anymore. So it is something we want to start working more closely and potentially even look at hosting business events, getting local business together, and maybe we move it around. Yeah, maybe not. Breakfast clubs are a little bit old hat now. They don't attract people in the same way as they used to. So it's actually been inventive about doing stuff differently and how you get people in. Obviously, that's something I've had a lot of experience with. Business events, that's what I do a lot of. So that's where we are. It's early days, but that's the general idea, is that we're almost going to be trying to get not a Chamber of Commerce as such, but a business networking type of event going, and potentially move it around the town as well. So actually, whilst we would host it, we look at actual venues to host it, because we've got some really nice pubs, bars, restaurants, spaces that potentially could go to. So that's where we are at the moment.
So moving on to the Mayor's Civic Dinner, back to Safi. Sorry.
Right, yes.
So the Mayor's Civic Dinner is being held on the 14th of March this year. Sort of really all we need to know at the moment. It's more of a, I don't know if you want to talk on it.
Yeah, we're just meeting up with Ian and Hayley on Friday to discuss further. We are trying to squeeze in
21 tables.
21 tables we're going to try and get in, because there were people last year, organisations who wanted to come, and there wasn't enough space. And obviously, I'm really keen. I've got a lot of people I want to invite, but I know there's also a lot of outside organisations that want to come, and businesses that really want to sponsor tables as well. So we're looking at how we can maximise the space by doing food differently. So we haven't got people queuing up for food and things like that. Entertainment is a Spanish theme. So the food will be potentially on tables, will be tapas.
We looked into the idea of suspending tables.
Yeah, we could do it, double story tables. Yeah, stuff we can do. We even talked about turning the stage into tables.
I know.
Literally. But no, all joking aside, entertainment, raffle, big auction.
Yeah, Safi has worked incredibly hard to get some absolutely astonishing raffle prizes, auction prizes.
There's not an M4.
Sorry?
Yeah, I won't go quite that far. I'll just go into Leon tomorrow and be like, can I have an M4? I've got a feeling he might say no.
He'll probably say, yeah, if you can get £200,000 for it.
Well, yes, quite probably, yeah.
I know an auctioneer, a famous one.
Got one. It's
Paul Martin, sorry, too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we blagged him.
Mark Hallam.
Oh, blimey, I think pretty much a couple of days after I became mayor.
Mark Allen would be good as well, but yeah, it's Paul Martin's fit. I mean, they're much. There's different.
We've got Paul is, because Paul's one of the charities he supports is the Wiltshire and Bath Air Ambulance.
Yeah.
So it kind of ties in really nicely with that.
There are some astonishing things for Raffin. I mean, you really have done the most incredible job. I mean, just to give a few, there's ridiculous things, holidays and
Wow.
Flying lessons,
dance lessons. Honestly, I cannot fault the amount of work staff he's put into it.
Well, they sound like expensive events that could raise a lot of money, prizes that could raise a lot of money. It might be useful to advertise them a little before the event so that people know.
And do it a bit online.
Yeah, this is why we're meeting on Friday, just to start.
Although to do it outside of the auction, you have to have gambling licence.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, no, that's a brief.
Yeah, if you're doing an auction outside of a
Well, no, I was thinking
event, you have to have a gambling licence.
coming up.
Because I'm well aware of something, I had to get one for that reason. They're relatively easy, but lovely. So grant applications. Oh no, sorry, I've missed something. I've missed loads of things.
Roundabout.
So roundabouts. Jasmine's doing a fantastic job, as far as I can tell, in getting sponsorship for roundabouts. The sponsorship pack's gone out. It highlights the areas where we currently don't have sponsors. It is a minimum of 2 years. I just think Jasmine's doing really quite a fantastic job.
Finally, what Jasmine's.
She's the business partnership manager, is that right? Or something along those lines?
It's just
Or business
partnership
partnerships officer, sorry, not manager, yeah. And she is, that's far too corporate. And she is, her entire kind of role is to get in all of our partnership and sponsorship for everything that we should have, but has just sort of lapsed over the years. So it's putting a real focus in making sure that we are getting that return on investment for certain things. So yeah, I think she's doing a really, really good job as far as I can.
Herself to me on Saturday night, but I couldn't really hear what she was saying.
She really helped us on Saturday.
She was great Saturday, and she also took the opportunity to go and talk to businesses as well.
I was actually getting my nails done and she didn't know who I was. It must have been her first. She went in to speak to them about the road closures for Remembrance Day. Bearing in mind she had no idea who I was just getting my nails done. I was blown away by her. I actually ended up going over to her and saying, just so you're aware, I'm Jenny, I'm one of the town councillors and you just did an amazing job. So yeah, she was brilliant. LinkedIn, the partnership officer is also showcasing business community projects such as the Herman Miller litter picking and the Swindon Story Shed. Obviously, LinkedIn is an incredibly valuable tool for if we're trying to increase our business networking. So I'm really glad that we're becoming much more active on there. Our events, anyone got anything they want to say on that? No. Events partnership. So our events partnership packages are out there now. And this is, again, what Jasmine will be doing is really focusing and making sure that all our sponsorship events are all out there, that we're promoting them, that we know what's going on out there so that businesses are aware of what they can sponsor. Which again, you know, I think is an area of the town council that's just really not been focused on for the last couple of years. So I think it's really great that we've got that. Grant applications. So we have a grant application to the Wiltshire Council Household Support Fund for the installation of a free to access water refill station at King George V Plainfield was successful. So those of us who remember, we do have to make sure that Councillor Oatley gets his statue as well at some point, because he was fairly confident that that's what we were asking for at Assets and Amenities. He thought that we were asking for a water feature rather than a water fountain. And, you know.
We had visions of being Jenny of like a statue of Jack.
Of just Jack spraying out. Or I was thinking.
I can't think that. Let's do that.
That is a future, yeah. Right.
I mean, I love it. Fair play to you, Jack. So King George V Plainfield Hire, the Kingston Group has reserved the band for the park even for Bands by Bridge charity event on Saturday. Oh, you've written that backwards and that's confused me. We're in the 2nd of the 5th.
Yeah.
So the previous hires have been contacted about next year's interest, and the summer themed and Christmas market events are also being considered pending negotiations and practicalities.
What is the Bands by the Bridge?
Sorry?
What is Bands by the Bridge?
It's a charitable event that they're doing in a number of towns, including ours, places with rivers, basically. And they're actually a Swiss company with a Frome-based office, and they've just booked to do a concert. They've been switching between charging or making it free and collecting money, but it's to raise money for.
All I'd say in this,
charities.
just to make them aware that in Melksham, if you have charging for it, it suddenly changes the park because of the way that you get in and out of the park.
Yeah.
It means you have to enclose the park.
Yeah,
And we don't want that.
Well, they were going to fence it, but I think they've decided not to now.
Yeah, it makes it a very different event because suddenly it all becomes much more rigid. I am very, very excited by a potential Christmas market. I think it's the one thing that I probably hear the most in our town. We have got the most fantastic space for it up at the park. We even have a circular walkway so that we can facilitate it being accessible as well. And I'm really, really happy that this is potentially something that we're looking at going forward with. I think, you know, I've, on top of also asking for a ski lodge, but nobody seems to be getting me that. And an ice rink, I think, we asked for 1 year as well. But, you know, living in the realms of reality, I do think a Christmas market would be really exciting. And then obviously it is also available for hire still for all community groups and activities. It's an amazing space at there, and I think it's a space we possibly don't utilise in the way we should. And I do think, sorry to harp on about it, but getting a screen will open it up to there being more opportunity. I don't know if we've mentioned this, but I really want a screen. Do you ever been told that people with ADHD hyperfixate? You know what I'm hyperfixated on. Lovely, moving on. So item 9.7, communications. So a brief summary of some of the activities by our communications officer. So I don't know if everyone's noticed, but there is some new marketing going around. So the Assembly Hall does have a new logo, a new bill style for advertising, and then also a sort of there are posters that are all starting to look the same. We are looking at new branding for the town council to really try and pull everything back together. People might be aware there are actually two brands for the town council. There is the one that is kind of the traditional sort of crest and the crest and the sort of official logo, but there is also one that people might have seen, which is a blue one. And we just felt that actually, if we're going to rebrand and we really want to bring branding together, we have to do it properly. Like, it's one of those things that you sort of just have to do. So I believe that Dom is working very hard on making sure the branding's looking good. I do just want to say, since he's come in, our visuals are top notch. Yeah. You know, what he did for
Lots of things website address.
Yes. So since he's come in, there is a definite change in sort of the way that we're branding things, and I think he's doing a really fantastic job. And yes, lots of things do have the wrong website address on, which is slightly frustrating. But that's not your fault. He did make up some fantastic things around Christmas as well, and just everything just felt like it was much more branded together. So I was really impressed with that. Gosh, there's quite a lot going on, isn't there? So he's also working obviously on a lot of things. I think the most important one that I want to mention that he's worked on though is the Elf Trail. I mean, the feedback I have had on that Elf Trail is astonishing. And Safi, I'm sure you've had it too, given that it's you in it. That Elf Trail is just amazing. And I know that there was help with it as well, and the filming was done by different people, but what amazing thing. I mean, I have had 3 town councils approach me and they are not calm, who've written on our page, who've all approached me in different guises to say how amazing it is. So, I mean, congratulations to everybody involved in it. It's just brilliant. And on that note, the elves are still on the loose. We still need to find them because the naughty little tinkers are going to be late for Santa. Okay. I know, can't really help these things, can we? To make sure that people find them. Moving on, because I'm going to try and get this. So, Christmas lights switch on. If everybody didn't know, it happened on Saturday. What have I missed?
No, just thinking of things going on in the town.
Have I missed loads?
Well, there was a memory tree, the book tree.
Oh yeah, there is a lovely. So I actually don't have that page on me. I found it. Sorry.
It's after the elves.
We do have an environmental Christmas tree downstairs, which I am well aware that one of the councillors in this room is determined to take some books from. And we just are looking forward to him doing it. I didn't say his name, but it's fairly obvious who it is.
Somebody else has also tried to pull some books out as well.
Oh.
That's it. And somebody jumped up in fright because they thought I was going to take it out, but I only put my finger on it.
It is really good though, I do like it.
Those.
I would like there to be a star on the top of it though.
I do believe that the mayor was eyeing some of the books as well.
Oh, definitely.
There will be.
What is happening with the books after?
He gets to take them.
It's ours.
Yeah, I'd like to look through. I'm not a hoarder, but I'd like to.
Silent.
There's a book called It Doesn't Count.
Death Jenga. Melton Town Council is currently seeking all new councillors due to the fact that they decided to participate in Death Jenga.
I've got a 7-year-old that will help dismantle.
From the bottom.
So when can we do it?
After Christmas. After Christmas. So anyway, Christmas lights turn on. I just want to say thank you to everybody who was involved in this. The Christmas lights turn on is such a special event in this town. It's one I've attended since I was a child. I remember singing at the very first one as a child. So, you know, it's been going for longer than I care to admit. But it was astonishing this weekend. We've had amazing feedback from it. I think everybody who gets involved with it, the volunteer group who really do work their socks off in the weeks leading up to it. Obviously, Paul, who puts an awful lot of sort of investment in it. Joe, who does do a lot in terms of making sure that we're getting it streamed online and does does lots of other things around the event. All of our officers who I think this might be the first year where I can honestly say every single one of our officers, with the exception of one who I'm aware was not available, and that was a long time coming. Every single one was there. Every single one was active. I was really impressed with the way that everybody came together. Ollie in the Assembly Hall was fantastic. It was noted that he offered everybody to get the Wi-Fi code from him, which I know sounds silly, but when you're a little independent trader, little things like that just make such a big difference. And I cannot thank every single one of our members of staff more for the incredible effort that was put in this weekend. And then obviously to all of the volunteers on the weekend as well, you know, it was amazing, and Giffords did a fantastic job as well. So please do pass on our thanks to them. Everyone did an amazing job. I can't really fault anybody. Although the crowning glory was the grotto, I hate to say it. So I know there was loads of fireworks that went off and Santa did some things, but really the decoration of the grotto was just top notch.
I'm not going to minute that.
Not minuting it.
That's not fair.
Minuting when I say thank you to everybody else.
Do you not realise how much effort we put into that?
All right, I'll put it.
You don't have to say that we were we did the best, but
I thought the toys were marvellous.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you put in as much effort as we've spent? Yeah, unpacking those darn
no,
toys.
you did amazingly. Up here was spectacular.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen
The
such.
whole thing was amazing. The whole thing was just exceptional. You know, I think one of the things that, as I say, I know some Trowbridge Town councillors incredibly well, and one of them I saw today, and she went, "Oh, I had a great Christmas light switch on then, did you?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course we did." She said, "Yeah, I know. It's all the town's talked about." Does it say much better than us? And I was like, "Can't help it. We do."
Yeah.
You know, we really are the best, I think, in Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Easily the best in Wiltshire. It's fantastic. And I think lots of people this year are very, very happy to see the memory tree in the town.
Yeah.
I know there's been some discussion around potentially what we do with having a tree, sort of one that we nurture so that we can consistently have a real tree, but one that's more sustainable rather than us just cutting one down. I think that's probably going to be discussed in assets potentially. But I'm really happy to see it. And I think having it where it is a Christmas tree. It just happens to have memories on. It is beautifully well done and the town looks amazing. So thank you.
Just thought, throw in, is there like a local Christmas tree farm or anything that we can build it?
No, the nearest ones are in Somerset.
Okay.
Mendip, there's a lad's name in it.
Longley are out now in terms of when their next big tree cycle, because that's probably we've got this like huge cycle where
Ryan's Christmas trees. Isn't it?
Well, one day you can have the one in my front garden because it's going to get too big one day. And I grew it from seed.
Yeah, so we do have three big sponsors of the tree. So that is DJ Bewley's, Goffs and Specsavers who pay for that tree. So I do think it's really important. Oh, apparently the community officer did a short segment on BBC Radio Wiltshire to encourage residents to come and participate. Well, I'll have you know that BBC Radio Wiltshire are also having us tomorrow to talk about the Elf Trail. So basically BBC Radio Wiltshire has just become BBC Radio Melkshire. So the community vision strategy. So people probably remember that we did go out throughout the summer and ask residents to feedback. I actually think 150 responses is a pretty decent amount. You know, I'd love to see us get 1,000, but everything's better than none, which is what we've previously done. So the report is below. You can obviously look into the report. There's nothing massive that jumps out at me as anything that we should be worried about. I think what it actually does is confirm that the things that we are saying are our priorities, are the town's priorities as well. I was very happy to see that the Blue Pool and what we do there, actually people do want us to invest in it. How we invest in it is a different matter, and maybe that'll be a different thing that we take out to people once maybe we have more of an idea what's going to happen there. But it is really good to see that the vast majority of people, actually I was very impressed to see that the vast majority of people knew we'd acquired it, but then actually that most people also wanted us to do something with it and not just kind of sell it off or kind of just do it up. They wanted us to do something, which was really good to see. I don't know if anyone's got any comments on the vision strategy at all.
Is that we must do it again, as in, you know, for other, on, you know, not just make this a once a 5-year event, but ask the public's opinion as often as we can.
I completely agree with you. I think, you know,
Even if it is only 150, 200 people, it might creep up a bit the more you ask them, but we need to know what's going on out there.
I totally agree. I think the more we ask, the more likely we are to get people to feedback. And more importantly, the more we act on their feedback, the more they'll feedback to us and they'll know that it isn't just a pencil pushing thing. So Park Yoga, we have agreed to continue Park Yoga, haven't we?
Yeah.
I want to check that. Obviously, it is something that goes out and WASP, we do in conjunction with WASP, who is Wiltshire and Swindon Sport. It is possibly one of the most loved things that we do. Safi.
But I would like us to explore why it is that devices not being particularly different sized.
Why they spend so much less than us?
No.
Why they participate less?
They have way more participants than we have.
Oh, do they?
So Devices had 2,304 in total. So that's if you add up all the weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, 2,304 participations, not participants, but participations, compared to us at 1,093. And I know, I'm pretty sure last council year we were getting more than that turning up. So what is it that we need to do to communicate better?
So you have a gap or something.
Only one. We only had one. We didn't have a
Swindon River Festival.
but when you look at Chippenham, the amount that Chippenham are getting 2,000 participations. Devices
Towns are similar size to us, and they're not getting very much either. It'd be interesting to understand why. You are right.
Yeah, what is it that they're doing? So if we could reach out to Chippenham and Devices and just find out how they're going out the messaging. Look at Trowbridge, 1,871. It would be maybe useful to know what they're doing differently to
Trowbridge, that's bad for Trowbridge, given that they're twice the size of us.
I know, but it's still
Chippenham's bigger as well. But I would say
Chippenham's getting significantly more than us, so that would make sense.
But also, but that's what I'm saying. And Trowbridge are getting significantly more than us as well. So what is it they're doing with?
But I think you're right to look at Devices, because Devices is roughly our size.
Until I became a town councillor, I didn't even know that there was such a thing, Park Yoga. And I'm active on social media, and it bypassed me.
Okay.
So there is some kind of disconnect there in terms of getting the message out.
I just saw them walking down the road with their roll mats.
I think we had better. I think we had better comms the first year we did it. Then we've obviously with all due respect, Ian, because you're only very newly on board, we then had a
Gap.
Split.
gap.
Start building it up before, it'll start a similar size.
One of the things I actually think that we're not doing particularly well is shouting about the stuff we're doing. And I think we need to become better at it. Now, we actually have a statutory obligation to at least once a year put into the min. It doesn't have to be the min, but we choose to use the min for obvious reasons. Updates. We actually have an obligation. It's a legal requirement for us, and we don't always fulfill it. But I actually think we should be, really, we should be putting in a big full page ad in the next upcoming issue about kind of all the things that we've been doing
They're going to do.
Why
and the things we're going to do.
Stuff ready so we can do Park Yo-Go.
I would rather we got it in January.
Yeah, people will be hungry for real news
But when-
again after.
If we think of the stuff so Park Yoga starts in the spring, doesn't start till May time, does it?
I'd like to talk about the things we've done and then
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah, do
spring
that as well, but
do
then do
ones
one-
that,
Do one that
What's
says all the
coming up?
stuff that's going to come up out in the summer.
in fact, if I could, I'd put one in about January the 13th. Can't think why. I think personally that's something that we need to be shouting out a bit more, and not just in social media, but we have budgets specifically for these things, and we should be using, particularly the min.
Yeah.
They are our greatest resource for this.
As a concerning extent, I just don't forget there are people that are digitally excluded for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's why I want it.
Notice boards, 3 newspapers.
Yeah, some people have got signs on things, no newspapers.
And then the final one is Us Girls Summer, which I'm going to be honest, I wasn't 100% sure about. Don't know if anyone can fill me in on a bit.
In the report.
Well, I read the report and still was a bit confused. Because then it went to the Community Vision Survey, and then it went to Park Yoga. And I don't know if I missed something. That's why I got confused. Yeah, I know. I saw. There it is. So this was just the impact on the things that they did this summer, over the summer. Are we using them again next summer? Because it seems to me like they did pretty well. Are we using them?
I believe we are, yes.
We are using them next summer.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see that there's a full summer programme coming. I would like at the next agenda, at the next meeting, for us to have a layout of exactly what we've got coming up. Everything that we've got coming up in the next 6 months, particularly over the summer. I think it's really important that we know exactly what's coming. Pat.
Just wanted to ask Ian if he could tell me off the top of his head how many Christmas boxes we eventually sent. That's including Specsavers as well as what was at the town hall.
No, they had to come back and pick up 9 more. I don't know what Specsavers sent actually. I'd have to ask the supplier. So they picked up 9 more for us from, I think we had 23 before that, and then they got the date slightly wrong. So we had 9 more.
Okay, well
I can ask the question for you.
that's quite disappointing because we had the foyer full before now. So I can.
But Specsavers had a wall all along the windows, so I think more people went to Specsavers than went to us.
Well, yeah, which is what's making me ask, because I was disappointed that not many came to the town hall, because it's always nice to walk in and see people actually bringing them.
Was it promoted? Because I've got to be honest.
Well, I don't know. I came in and asked Ian, and he said, "Yeah, it's happening." And I thought, "Oh, good," because I've been saving boxes. So for the last few years when it hasn't.
I think we'll possibly need to promote it a bit more if we're doing it. I mean, I assume we're talking Operation Christmas Child.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, as you said earlier on an earlier this little sort of gap of communications and things, maybe it got. I mean, I didn't see it anywhere, and I mean, I don't know why I didn't see it.
One of the, if I can speak, Chair.
Yeah, go for it.
One of the things I noticed was that they were very much pushing the name of the charity this year. If you went to their website, it said Samaritan's Purse, and in small print, Operation Christmas Child. I don't know if that was something that they'd done, where and the boxes that came to collect stuff in all said Samaritan's Purse on the side, and then in small print, Operation Christmas Child. And I wondered if they were trying to, refocus, because everyone knows that,
That's probably.
Nobody knows the name of the
Yeah.
organisation. Because several of the stuff I saw came up with Samaritan's Purse as the main titling, not Operation Christmas Child. So I do wonder if that was less
Possibly,
visible.
yeah. So sort of it didn't catch your eye because that's
Yeah.
what you knew.
Yeah.
I mean, they had it there, but it was always smaller on the page than the title of the organisation.
I just
Hmm.
didn't see it.
Lovely. Okay, nothing else to add. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I know it feels like it's been a long meeting because obviously it's been grants. I actually found doing grants separately to ComDev really helpful.
Yeah, that was so much less painful listening
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
much better. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Ian, for your time. Thank you, Andrew, for your time. I very much appreciate it. Thank you, Emily, for joining online. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And if we don't see you beforehand, have a Merry Christmas. We will, but not the public.
More meeting before Christmas.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm going on holiday on Wednesday, so I'm good.